Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about symbolism, and yesterday's video I mentioned that 33rd degree Mason Manly P. Hall suggested that when we learn symbolism and understand the meaning behind it, that's when we really evolve and start to step into our next level of awareness. My perception of what he meant by that is that when we understand synchronicity and the flow of synchronicity, that's when we will. Because synchronicity is something that is individual to the person. So if I've had a thought and then I get the answer to that thought in a film or in a book, on the side of a bus, and I get that feeling, that gut feeling that that was there, that was a sign for me and that was an answer, that's one form of synchronicity. And this is something that can't be manipulated. This is something that is individual to the person. So outside of you, it can't be manipulated, because if you haven't told anyone about it and you're getting the answer through it, it obviously can't be manipulated by someone. And instead of thinking it's coincidence, when you start to believe it's synchronicity, these things become more reoccurring. So now when I ask a question or when I plant something into my subconscious before I go to bed, I will very, very frequently get the answer to it in one of these methods. And it's always bang on, and it's always within 24 hours for me now. And I believe that this is what Manly P. Hall meant, because synchronicity is something that if you look back over thousands of years, it's been written about in hundreds of books, thousands of books. People talking about how when you make decisions from your bliss, from your knowing, that it puts you on a track of being in the right place at the right time and knowing that that was for you. It's almost like you're getting directions from a higher self or from another realm or another reality, because ultimately we're multi-dimensional beings. And the reason I wanted to go on to this today was I've had a bit of a synchronicity this week. One of the affirmations I've strongly said over the last 3 years is I will only speak my truth. I am my truth, and no matter what I have to say to someone, at the end of the day it will benefit them long run if I speak my truth, because it sets the example that I'm speaking my truth, and therefore other people's energies and auras will know that I'm speaking my truth, which then will encourage them to speak their truth, even if it's not what they want to hear at that particular time. In the long run for humanity, it's the right thing to do. And something I've been doing this with for the last 18 months is in relationships. So when I was younger, and I'd be a little bit of a sod and say I'd get into a relationship with someone just because I wanted to sleep with them, and then I wouldn't really want to be in that relationship. It would just create a bad energy. It's not right for the other person, and evidently I learned in the long run it's not right for me, because my higher self knows what it's doing, it feels bad about it, and then it starts to suppress these emotions, and when it suppresses the emotions, I start to suffer with things like jealousy, I start to suffer with things like illness, I start to suffer with depression, I start to suffer with various things, because these pent up and blocked emotions can cause these things. And later on at a date you need to release these in some way, whether it's through going back to it and re-experiencing and letting that go. You need to find a way to release these. But if I was to see someone now, and when I say to someone, I really like you, but this is the situation, I'm not ready for a relationship, I'd like to continue seeing you, but I am dating 2 other people at the same time, I would have had a fear of saying that when I was younger, because I would have thought the person would say, who do you think you are? You can't have your cake and eat it. But that comes from a lack of consciousness. And because I was thinking that, and I was cheating and doing those things, it was the wrong thing to do. And what I'm finding now is that by being brutally honest, 90% of the people I'm saying this to are absolutely fine with it, because it's almost like we're in an age and a day at the moment where we're being lied to by so many different people, by our government, by politicians, that it becomes so normal to be lied to that now when someone's brutally honest, it's refreshing. And the reason I'm saying this is because by doing this and realising that I never needed to do that in the first place, it's opened me up to so many other things that I've now changed. And by speaking your truth, it opens you up to new friendships, it opens you up to new business opportunities, because someone's aura will inevitably know if you're lying to them. Their higher self knows if they're lying, and no matter how much of a confident liar you are, you may convince that person that you're telling the truth, but there's always a part of them that knows that you're lying. And there's always a part of you that knows you're lying. So when you speak your truth, businesses will start to get better, friendships will start to get better, and relationships, you'll be able to do things in relationships that you never thought possible. And I went on to a Tantra workshop on Sunday and met a guy called Shaf Udin. And he actually has a minimum of 3 partners at any given time, up to 5. He says any more than 5 is a little bit of a struggle. I mean, I think 3 is probably too much for me. But as long as you're timekeeping properly and everybody's honest with each other and everybody's there for each other and you're all informed, the only thing that can trigger you is jealousy. And then I've had to work quite a lot on jealousy in the past, and when I first heard of polyamory, I was like, that's not for me at all. And part of me still doesn't want that. Part of me, I am looking for that relationship where I meet someone and there's that spark straight away and we just vibe off each other and there's butterflies the whole time. But I'm under no illusion that until I embody the qualities that I want in a partner, I'm not going to vibrate at the right level to then send out that vibration and that vibration to come back to me. So the 3 years previous to this have been me working on myself to that point where I embody all the qualities that I want in a partner. So the truthfulness, the willing to travel, the service to others, helping people, all of these things that I am now embodying, I'm getting signs back to me because my friendships, I've lost certain friendships, and the friends that are coming around me now are all embodying the qualities that I've embodied, which is showing me that the closer I get to embodying all the qualities I want in a partner, then my partner will just walk into my life, and it will work like that. And this has happened to me before, but very unconsciously. I never realised what I was doing before. Like, I once wrote a list on Facebook of everything that I wanted in a partner, and it was a stupid list, and at the bottom it even says something silly like, and if the person doesn't have nice feet, then all of these other qualities are irrelevant. And within 2 months I met the person who filled everything on that list. But this is the power of affirmations. When we think something, it sends out a vibration. When we speak it, it solidifies that. And when we write it down, it objectifies it. And we're constantly sending out higher vibrations, which creates a stronger and stronger foundation for that to objectify into our reality. I hope this is making sense to you. If there's any questions, please do comment in the box below. But the reason I'm talking about this is what I'm talking to you about with Shaft having 5 partners. Something like that would have triggered me about 3 years ago, and I'd have been like, who does that guy think he is? But what we all need to realise is that we are multi-dimensional beings. That because I've got something, it doesn't take anything away from you. Some people, and even myself in the past, I used to think that people around me have got everything. They're using up a finite supply of goods, and therefore there's not enough left for me. But we live in an abundant world, and we live in a multi-dimensional world. So if somebody's got 10 slices of their cake, that doesn't take anything away because you've got your own 10 slices. But in order, by thinking that they've taken something away from you, you're creating a lack consciousness, and then you're drawing that into yourself. When you realise you've got your own 10 pieces of cake there, but you just need to access them all, put your energy into creating the best life you can, into helping others. Service to others is the easiest way to get things back to yourself. If you want to be abundant, help others, because with the information I was getting at one point, I thought to myself, I'm going to hoard this, I'm going to keep it to myself and I'm going to use it, and it benefited me for a little bit, but then I stopped getting some of the information. I stopped channeling stuff, I stopped, it just completely dried up. But then the second I started talking about it and sharing people and doing workshops on things, and now obviously using YouTube as the next way of getting this message out, the more abundance comes into my life, because currency means you need to keep the current flowing. If you put a dam into a current, then it just creates lack because it stops. But as soon as you release that dam, the currency starts flowing again, and energy is energy in motion. you start to get abundance back to you. And the other reason I talked about this today, and I don't really like talking about my personal life, like relationships and stuff, but I saw an interview with Dan Bilzerian on London Real TV, and he said, this guy, for anyone who doesn't know, is a multi-millionaire. He won 50 million gambling. He was left a lot of money by his father. He lives in a £100 million house in LA, and he has about 10 girls living with him. He's basically the modern day Hugh Hefner. And he said that whenever any girl comes to live at his house, the first thing he says to them is, I will not lie to you, and if you lie to me, that's it, you're out. We're all here to have fun together, we're all here with each other, we all care for each other, but the second you lie to me, you're out. Not only girls, but everyone respects that, because as I said, we've been lied to so much, it's refreshing, and everybody knows where they stand. So if you're not comfortable with a situation, you've got the option to leave that situation. This person's created his own reality. If you don't want to be a part of that, step away from it. And not only that, step away from it and be happy that they've created their reality that they want. Because everyone in that reality has got a choice to stay in that reality or jump out. And then you can go off and create your own reality. And when you put in the thoughts and you put in the truth and you put in everything that you want into reality, you'll vibrate at that level and you'll draw people that want the same reality. And this is, in effect, multi-dimensional beings that we are. We can have what we want, and it's a very powerful time at the moment. We've come out of a 5,000 year Iron Age. If you want to carry on watching TV and working a 9-to-5 job and buying shoes, trainers, watches, cars, houses, and giving your energy away to these things, then you have free will and you can do that. But if you want to start stepping out the boundaries now and trying things that we are capable of but we've been repressed from, like telekinesis, telepathy, all of these things, I believe, are, once people start putting their attention into them and the energy starts flowing to them, it brings things that aren't seen into the scene. So there's been a lot of things that have been hidden behind layers of veils, and now people are starting to expand their consciousness and put their attention on certain things. More people that put attention on things, the more energy goes to it, and the more these veils come down and the more is revealed to us. This is what I'm doing with my fasting. I'm on 7 days with no food now. I'm actually going to treat myself today to some soup, some pea soup or something, because this 40 days that I'm doing right now is to iron out any niggles from all the fasting I've done in the last 3 years in order to be able to do 365 days next year. And to show that there are other energy sources that are purer forms of energy for the human body than food. As I've mentioned before, I believe talking is a poor form of communication because it can be manipulated, as in shown in Masaru Emoto's how sound and thoughts can affect water, and our bodies are 72% water. I also believe that food is a poor form of energy, even down to, I watched Game Changers, the film, yesterday, and this is great. It's showing you that meat is not needed, and that actually, what it's basically doing is taking your energy away from one thing and putting your energy onto another thing and creating a belief system around something and getting rid of an old belief system. So you're shutting down this paradigm and creating this paradigm. Well, what if I said to you the real game changer in all of this is when you realise that you don't even need food, that you're made of light and all you need to survive is light and air, prana, chi, or pure life force energy. And when you learn how to breathe properly, when you learn how to absorb energy properly, everything with outside of you is there for pleasure. It's not there for, it's not a need, it's a want. That everything you need is within you. So for me, that's the real game changer in it all. It's when you take your power back and you step back into your being, your knowing, because we're human beings, not human doings. So yeah, it's a great thing that people are now going vegan and vegetarian, because obviously there's a lot less negative energy around plants than there is killing animals. But if you look at it, all it's doing is breaking something down, whereas you could then break that down and move on to the next bit. Why hang around being vegan or vegetarian? Why not take yourself to the next level and then come back to whatever you want and pick what you would like from start? Now you've taken your power back and you realise you don't need any of that. It's a much better position to be in to then choose to eat for pleasure. I wrote an article on my Facebook page over 18 months ago saying I believe that by 2026 the human race will only eat for pleasure, because they will have found other energy sources that are purer. Because energy is not just the food you put in your body, it's the sounds you listen to, it's the words you speak, it is the people you surround yourself with, it's the vibrations of your surroundings. They say you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with, and that is because their vibrations will inevitably rub off onto you. So when you do fast, you become very, very aware of energies around you. It's the biggest lesson you can ever learn, because when you're fasting, you become aware of the energy of the person next to you. You become aware of the energy of the city you're in. You become aware of the energy of the nature you're in. And when you start to read energies and learn to utilize energies properly, it opens you up to so many things. And this is why I believe governments are going to collapse, because when people start reading energies, you can't lie to someone that can read energies. You could be the best actor in the world, but you cannot lie to someone who can read energies. And inevitably, someone that can read energies, they won't even give you the time of day. They just walk away from you because they don't want that negative interaction. They don't want to be part of it. You'll just drop off that person, and then you won't see that person again. So if that's happening to you, I've become a little bit more conscious that might be one of the reasons that's happening. I wanted to keep these videos to 10 minutes. I've gone into 16 minutes today. I'd imagine this video might trigger quite a few people. So if there's any questions or comments, please do leave them in the comment section below. If not, you can DM me or email me on Instagram. It's MindBodySoulSpiritCoach. On Facebook, it's R666HA13. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you all had a great start to your week. It's Monday, and enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you.